Welcome. You're just seconds away from the Brian Brawdy Show, where listener participation is strongly encouraged. Well, unless, of course, you're easily triggered, then listener discretion is strongly advised. And if you fall into the latter camp, why don't you just mortal up already?
You're listening to the Brian Brawdy Show here on RadioBri.com. Unfettered, unfiltered, unafraid.
Good afternoon once again, and welcome to episode 541 of the Brian Brawdy Show here on RadioBri.com, or you could be listening on YouTube, here on Facebook. You could be hanging out with us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, or iTunes. Thank you so very much. However you get here, we're thrilled to have you on board for the episode we call Your Last Day is Watching. Now, before we get to it, let me just say that your last day is watching because may not be today. I was running some errands this morning, right? Where they haven't totally locked me down yet. So I was running some errands this morning, and I drove by a funeral home, and there's a hearse. And I thought to myself, well, yeah, my last day, it'll be here whenever that is. It isn't today. It isn't right now, right? It isn't within the next hour, which I consider to be the greatest day, the greatest time, the greatest hour in the history of the world to be alive. But my last day is coming, right? Sooner or later, your last day will be here as well. And in today's show, we're going to talk about just that. Suppose, just for a moment. Now, I know my grandmother used to say, oh, don't say those things. Like, right? Like my words were like a Ouija board calling forth some kind of negativity. She used to say to me all the time, oh, you can't think like that. What happens if you sympathetic magic, right? What happens if you make it come true? What happens if you say today is your last day and it really turns out to be your last day? Then what's going to happen? I never bought into that, and I don't buy into it now. But just for a moment, let's look ahead. There will come a day, true or false? Of course, you know, true. There will come a day where it is our last day, our final hour, if you will. And if it's true, I know it's true, that in those moments where you think you're about to check out, the near-death experience, if you will, in those moments, you have a chance to look back over your life, and it does play out. And the theme of today's show is given that final day, which comes for us all. If you have a birth date, you have an end date. If you have a born-on date, you have an expiration date. And on that day, in that hour, in that final moment, when you look back over your life, will you be able to say you gave it the best run? You weren't bullied. You weren't pushed around. You didn't do anything that you regret. You didn't do anything, or you did not do anything that you regret. So from time to time, it's always helpful to think about that very last day. Did you tell the people that you dig them, right? Did you do what you have to? Oh, Mayday, speaking of the last day. Oh, we're going down. Right? Error. I'll give you an error. Right? In that last day, would you be at all comfortable with the life that you've led? Or would you say, hey, whatever? Would you say, hey, there's some things I would have rather done. There's some things that I would have rather been excited about in life, but for whatever reason, I chose not to. And look what's happened to me. Am I full of remorse? Am I full of any regret? Do I wish I had lived my life differently? Do I wish full contact freedom, right? Do I wish, in looking back, that I would have done everything I possibly could in any particular moment in time to mortal up and have life listen to me? Did I run the table? Did I work the red carpet? Did I mortal up and have everything? That's why I love the song by Stevie Ray Vaughan. Stevie Ray Vaughan, the late Stevie Ray Vaughan, excellent musician and artist. When he talked about living life by the drop, on your last day, can you look back and say that I absolutely lived life by the drop? I absolutely squeezed everything that I could out of this particular moment in all of time. So that's what we're going to talk about today, because that final day, it's watching what we're doing. It knows what's going on. And that's the focus of our show. as I said, episode 541. All right, Wayne, how are you, sir? As I kick off all of these, I hope, as I kick off these shows, want to check in, see what's going on with you.
I'm hanging in there.
Very cool. So now I was told in terms of some of the emails and some of the texts that we've gotten that the Mortal Up Minute is growing in popularity. So a little bit of a programming note. You want to walk everyone through what we're going to do in terms of the Mortal Up Minute, because as you pointed out to me, Wayne, it was a very smart idea. Some people might not be able to hang, right, for the whole episode. So they want to get the Mortal Up Minute out in the beginning, and we also want to have like a Mortal Up Minute replay. I got to learn how to do that reverb. Replay. We got to get that Mortal Up Minute. So what are we thinking about, Wayne?
Well, we're going to sit down and open up the phone lines.
Oh, groovy. I like that.
And then we're going to go back and we'll set up the Mortal Up Minute in the beginning.
Fantastic.
And then at the end of the show, we'll run the Mortal Up Minute again the second time.
I love that idea. All right, let's get to it. We will open the phone lines right after this little riff by our good friend Bill.
The phone lines are open. Now's your chance to mortal up and give Brian a shout, because your opinion deserves to be heard. Dial toll-free 1-833-MORTAL-1. That's 833-MORTAL-1.
All right, don't forget, you can also text us at that same number if you are into scratching it out, 833-667-8251. The texts come right here into the studio. You can also email us. I don't know if you know this, but if you want to be a guest on the show, if you got some show ideas, you can email Wayne at radiobri.com. And if you want the email to come right in here to the studio, at least the southern studio, not the northern studio. They haven't managed to lock that down yet, Wayne, have they?
Nope.
Are you still allowed to go to the studio there and as a Michigander?
Yeah.
Oh, still? All right, good. So you can come right in here to the southern studio by dropping us a quick line, Brian at radiobri.com. All right, Shane, good afternoon, sir. He says, when he's talking about Stevie Ray Vaughan, Shane says he wrote that, Living Life by the Drop. Shane says, after obtaining sobriety and how his life was wasted by drinking so much. That is absolutely an interpretation of that, Shane. Thank you very much. For me, I take the inverse of it, whether he meant it this way or not. I take the inverse of saying you got to live life by the drop. Not so much his drop, but life. I just squeeze the juice out of it. In every moment that you have, did you live life to your fullest? Full contact freedom, as we like to call it around here. All right, Wayne, I think this is a perfect time as any to introduce. Let me say hello to Miss Putnam very quickly. Miss Putnam, thank you very much for joining us. Nice to see you. It's time to introduce, Wayne, the Mortal Up Minute. How about a little truth in advertising? You aren't here to be bullied, browbeaten, bulldozed by anyone. If your spirit is broken, it's on you. A hollowed spine, perforated skin, a brain beaten into submission, it's on you. Because ultimately, it's an inside job. They can't control you, so they move to control your thoughts, to manipulate your mind until they induce your surrender, convincing you of your alleged fragility, timidness, susceptibility to any offense. Makes your capitulation in a cognitive co-conspiracy all but certain. They can't beat you straight up, and they know it. So their Trojan horse, their sick plan to dilute and diminish you, scheming against your ultimate ascent to power, calculating that you will default on your run at life itself. Never surrender. Never let them whittle you down. Take the white flag and wipe the smug, conniving grins right off their faces. It's time to mortal up, to rally your memory once and for all, because you are the backlash. You are the counterpunch. You are the reckoning they fear the most. All right, Wayne, I know you're going to take the mic here for a quick check, and then we're going to expand on that a little bit, because I'm going to tell you what pandemic I think is greater than the Wuhan wheeze, whatever we've got going on now, a pandemic that's even more detrimental to our overall health than even that. So we'll be right back.
The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent.
All right, that's good for our sponsors, right, Wayne? Counterpunch.media and Certifiable Brilliance, letting them know that the views by me or Wayne, for that matter, anyone that may call in, anyone that does a pre-recorded segment, anyone that we answer their voicemails so that it's right here on air, doesn't necessarily, you're welcome to, right? It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to blow back on our sponsors. Chances are pretty good that they're in tune with what we're saying, but you never can tell. It could happen, so I'm glad we've got that in there. So now, expanding a little bit on our Mortal Up, you don't have to tap out. I think, as I've said before, the greatest detriment that we have is our sense of amnesia. We've forgotten what freedom feels like. We've forgotten what it's like to have full contact freedom, that no matter what fate throws at us, you and I are capable of deciding what we're going to do in this particular moment in all of time. Right? Whatever mashugana comes our way, we're going to be able to manipulate that mashugana to work to our benefit. Now, your critics don't want you tapping into your natural resources. Your critics sure don't want you to remember who you ultimately are, so they aid and abet that amnesia. As we said yesterday, they do everything they can to keep you in a funk. Because if they keep you in a funk, right, it's easier for them to control you. They say, oh, this is for your own good, or we need to do this or do that. We're here to protect you. But when you remember who you ultimately are, you go, wait a minute. I'm here to protect myself. I don't need help from outside forces. I don't need a lot of help from outside entities. And that's the key to Mortal Up, is to realize, right? We had a certain amount of socialization when we were little, right? It's not like we were dropped on the savannas of Africa like a gazelle and you can run in like under 2 minutes, or a lion's going to pull up like somebody at a fast food window at Taco Bell, right? We weren't born that way. We were born so we needed a little bit of safety net. We needed some rodeo clowns around. For those of you going, hey, did Brian just call my parents rodeo clowns? Yes. Our parents are there. They're rodeo clowns, right? They're safety nets if we're a high wire act. They're there to protect us from outside mashugana. But what happens is, if we don't grow up, if we don't mortal up, we're constantly looking for that bubble. Right? We push against what we perceive as a bubble that's there to protect us. But ultimately, you're responsible for your own protection. I did that little thing over there about defund the police the other day where I said, look, you're welcome to call for defunding the police. You just damn well better be ready to defend yourself. If you're going to defund the people that swear an oath to protect you, all I'm simply suggesting is you better learn how to defend yourself. And that's what Mortal Up is. When we all got together and sat around kicking around what the logo was going to be, there was a reason that we put a sword in the logo. There was a reason that we have wings on the logo, right? It's because we believe you are that number one mortal. We believe that you draw your line in the sand. That, right? Your liberty, your freedom is on you to decide just how much you're going to do. Wayne and I talked about this morning. You know, even you can go, oh, let's go back to the days that we pulled away from England, right? Declaration of Independence and all that. Well, let's take it back even farther than that. We have always stood up to oppression. We didn't like the heat. We left the savannas of Africa. We didn't like the rules. We left the Garden of Eden, right? We didn't like what was being held against us, so we did everything we could to stand up and get out. And that's what Mortal Up is all about. You decide. Don't let anyone water down your wherewithal. Don't let anyone tell you that you're timid or fragile or that you're easily triggered or that you have to dovetail. You have to conform to their rules. Now, as my good friend Bill reminds me from time to time, well, you need a few rules or people would shoot 100 ducks a day. People would trap 100 raccoons. Yeah, I'm here to say that some people suck. There's no way around it. But we're not like the media types that paint with a very broad brush, throw the baby out with the bathwater, if you will. We're simply saying that outside of those instances, it's up to you. You decide in what way you'll mortal up. You decide how to pull the sword from the stone. Very Arthurian, I know, the legend of pulling the sword from the stone. But it's up to you. That sword, this life was made for your latents, for your fingerprints, for your palm print. You go in, you grab that knife, you pull it from the stone, and you use that knife to draw your liberty's line in the sand. No one else gets a vote. You get the vote. How are you going to live your life to the fullest so that on that day, because your final day is looking back on, I don't know. We'll have to see what she pulls off. I don't know. We'll see what he can how he rallies here towards the end. But it's up to you to pull that sword and draw your own Liberty's line in the sand. All right, Wayne, I've gone on and on about a good bit, I guess, and I know we are ready for our next segment. Very excited, by the way. Lowlifes making headlines, or as we like to call it around here, brains that make your blood boil. Here's your brittle brain atop a balsa wood spine for today. All right, who is our lucky contestant who will be receiving a suitable for print, a suitable for framing? We'll do the printing. We'll send you a certificate. You're today's Lowlifes Making Headlines winner on episode 541 of the Brian Brawdy Show. Who do we have today, Wayne? Ooh, today's Lowlifes Making Headlines, governor of the sour apple, Andrew Cuomo. Now, for all the people complaining, going, oh, I can't believe you called it the sour apple. I live there forever, so I'll call it whatever I want. All right, so here we go. Right? You guys know. All right. So telling others, quote, you must admit your shortcomings. But wait a minute. Admit your shortcomings. His book didn't admit his own shortcomings, how he sent all kinds of patients to nursing homes in order to get a corner on the coronavirus, and it led to their death. So, I get it. Like most of the vampire class, most of your career politicians, most of the people swearing an oath, I do it all for you. I do it all for you. Celebrity voices impersonated, I do it all for you. Right? But just like most of them, he's busy telling others to admit your shortcomings. The buck stops here. But not when it comes to him and his leadership. He continues to lie through the teeth while promoting in his book, leadership during a pandemic. Right? But he sent 30,000 New Yorkers. Is that right? 30,000. How many people? Many caused by his disastrous decisions. How many people ultimately were sent to nursing homes? That's what you want to talk about. Admit your shortcomings. Let's see it. Let's see it, Governor Cuomo. And that's why you're today's Lowlifes Making Headlines winner. Wayne, does that about cover it, would you think? Is that about just what we wanted?
Yep, pretty much.
All right, cool. So I've got an email coming in. Let me do this quickly, Wayne, before we run. Question for the show. Brian, good morning. In the question of quarantine and bugging in while you are bugging out, as in an RV mobile, how do you handle experiment without the hookup or boondocking chemicals? Mortal up, my friend. We will chat later. Kurt, thank you so very much. Now, so what Kurt's talking about here, thank you very much, brother, for the email. What he's talking about is how do you handle it? Just for me, Kurt, because I never wanted, well, in the interest of full disclosure, right, I always took a plastic bag with me. So even when I was going to be out and about and around forever, I always took a plastic bag in the RV, and I would put that plastic bag inside of the bathroom in the RV because I didn't want to carry around what's called the gray or the black water. So I always carried it in a bag, and then when I got to a place where I knew, then I would either put it in a dumping station or I would bury it, right? So if you look at being out and about in the middle of nowhere, I didn't want someone coming up and looking and going, oh, wow, we love the petrified forest, but somebody took a dump right there. So what I always did, Kurt, was I made sure to put like a heavy-duty black bag over top, and that's what I used. And then when I got to a place where I could get rid of it, I most certainly did. If I was going to be a while in a place where I wasn't able to, then I would dig a deep enough hole to bury, I'd make my own outhouse, if you will, Kurt, when I was out in the middle of nowhere, making sure to cover it up and trying to leave the scene, if you will, as unchanged as possible, right? So that when I would leave a footprint, I never acted as if I didn't want it to seem like I had ever been there. So that's what I was able to do. Kurt, thank you so very much for your question. We super appreciate it. We're looking forward to catching up. Mortal up to you as well. All right, Wayne, I know we're going to run the clock to, look at this, 20 after. Wayne, I'll hand over the mic for just a second to you.
Portions of this broadcast have been pre-recorded.
Why? Because you can't get these people to hit a call time. They're the worst. Nah, I'm just kidding. We love our guests. We do love our guests. You are so welcome, Kurt. I hope that helps. I don't know if it does, brother, but I have a thing about moving into some of the most pristine territories. and making sure that when I leave them, I haven't disturbed, I haven't perverted that pristine, if you will. So thank you very much for the question, brother. I hope that helps. If not, get with me offline, and I'll give you some other ideas of things that I've used in the past. All right, don't forget, you can send us an email, as Kurt just did, Brian@RadioBri, spelled B-R-I, RadioBri.com. You're also welcome to text us here in the studio, 833-667-8251, or as we like to say, and it's toll-free, don't forget, 833-MORTAL-1, because if you're listening, we consider you to be the number one mortal in the book. All right, Wayne, what are we going to next? Can't wait. Distorting the truth instead of reporting the facts? Why, I oughta. Instead, let me just congratulate you. You're today's contestant on Jousting with Journalists. All right, Wayne, so I got to tell you, this is only going to get me in trouble, right? I understand that, because I'm the kind of guy that thinks, now, I don't know, it's been a while since you've lost Vikings. I was very excited last week that The Blacklist is back on Friday nights. So, of course, you're going to watch The Mandalorian with the kids, and then you get ready for James Spader in The Blacklist. I don't think there's a better actor. Got to tell you, James Spader in The Blacklist. But I've always thought back to the Vikings, right? In one of the episodes last season, the two warring clans got together, right, Wayne? The two warring clans got together, and they decided, the kings of both clans, we're going to battle it out. And whoever wins the duel, whoever wins the battle, right, then that side wins, and everyone will dovetail with the winner. Now, I get a lot of complaints because people go, oh, you're talking about living in the wild, wild west. I got to tell you, I hanker back to those days, right, where if you're going to have a disagreement, then you go, hey, right, it's time to do a duel. I think we bring back dueling. That's all I'm saying, Wayne. I think we should bring back dueling, right? We get an octagon. You got a disagreement, you get in the octagon, and let's just see what opinion walks out. That's all I'm saying. Don't only get me in trouble. So with that in mind, I love jousting with journalists. Now, I'm not saying with all journalists, right? As I said earlier, we don't paint with a really broad brush. We don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, but certain people that call themselves journalists. That's why Wayne went and did a great job of creating the Jousting with, because these are people that, like little Jimmy Accosted over at the Circus News Network, right? These are people that call themselves journalists. I don't know why they do, but they call themselves journalists. Maybe they get a free bowl of soup, right? Like Rodney Dangerfield and Caddyshack. Maybe they think they're just like Rodney Dangerfield's friend Wang. They get a free bowl of soup and a hat if they get to say they're a journalist. But today's Jousting with Journalists, National Propaganda Radio. Thank you. It drives me crazy. I get in the car every so often, and someone will have left National Public Radio you get in, you start the car, and NPR screeches right out of the top. But here we go. The nation's political tribalism defies debate. Woo! Throngs of largely mask-free, oh, no, not mask-free, no, say it isn't so at National Propaganda Radio. Throngs of largely mask-free conspiracy-immersed Americans. Ooh, immersed in conspiracy. Ooh, I didn't know there was a hyphen between conspiracy and immersed, which will lead us to our old please section a little bit later in the show, because there's going to be some young people that are offended by that little hyphen right there. I'm telling you, NPR, you're asking for it. But in any event, conspiracy immersed Americans turned the city's Freedom Plaza into an alternate reality on Saturday. Oh, so some people turned the alternate reality plaza into an alternate reality. Within that zone, there was no question that they numbered 1 million. Trump did not lose the election. It was stolen. Antifa's the nation's gravest threat. Socialism is lurking around the corner. And coronavirus pandemic is hype. This is the article that was actually in National Propaganda Radio in their release. Children are being trafficked by a cabal of global elites, and the nation's valiant, outnumbered police are under attack. So here's NPR totally misrepresenting, in my estimation, what went on. Now, this isn't the whole article. And Wayne, can we throw the link in the feed, at least in the Facebook feed? Could we throw the link to the article so other people can read it? All I'm simply saying in our Jousting with Journalists segments is, from time to time, try not to be overly opinionated in any way other than in reporting the truth. Just talk about it, right? So here they have a clear agenda, and I'll be darned. See, I'm trying to clean up my language. I didn't say damn. I'll be darned if we don't fund this Meshuggah. We don't fund this nonsense. You talk about Meshuggah on a mission, then you got to talk about national propaganda radio. So, Wayne, if you get a chance to throw the link up, I would appreciate it. So that's what we're talking about, is not let your definition be hijacked. Now, does that mean all journalists need to get here and do some jousting? No. Does that mean that we need to go dueling with all journalists? Absolutely not. But from time to time, would it kill you to report the truth and not try to spin it in your own biased way? That's all we're suggesting. Right, Wayne? Am I missing anything?
Nope, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So what else they were saying is that the defenders of the street were Antifa, the defenders of the street, that they weren't going to stand for it anymore. I believe, if I remember this correctly, the defenders of the street were Antifa, the other people that were there to make sure that there's not. And you got to wonder, Wayne, have you noticed that since the election where everyone was like, oh, well, if this one wins, there's going to be riots in the streets again, right? If this one wins, we're going to make everyone. Thank you, Wayne, very much. So there's the link right in the feed over here on Facebook. We'll also obviously have it up at radiobride.com if you want to take a quick peek. That's something we had a suggestion the other day that we should put the links to some of these things, Wayne, over at radiobride.com. So if other people want to see why we voted that Jousting with Journalists winner is a particular person, or the lowlifes making headlines, or return to vendor, which is a great one today. I can't wait to get to that, right? You'll be able to see it. So in any event, are we talking about all journalists? Absolutely not. Some of my dearest lifelong friends, family members are journalists. We're talking about those that have hijacked journalism because they couldn't get a job doing anything else. All right, Wayne, I know we're getting close to the bottom of the hour. I dropped the countdown timer clock, as I'm sure everyone could hear. I dropped that clock, so now who knows what time it is. But we're going to go ahead and run to the bottom of the hour. You don't want to miss Oh Please. You don't want to miss, for certain, you don't want to miss Return to Vendor, because it is absolutely crazy who we've picked for today, and we'll get to that as soon as we get back, and we will be right back.
You're listening to The Brian Brawdy Show. Why? Because you know the truth when you hear it. He'll be right back.
Brawdy Show, brought to you by our good friends at Counterpunch Media and Certifiable Brilliance. It's time to buckle up. All right, let's buckle up. And again, yes, thank you very much. I was excited about it as well. And because here's the thing, you want to bring, let me just say, welcome to everyone on YouTube, on Facebook, if you're listening on radiobride.com, which Wayne tells me the numbers are up huge at radiobride.com. Thank you for making us a virtual hitchhiker. Thank you for taking us out and about. Thank you for treating the Brian Brawdy Show webpage, or radiobride.com, mortalup.com, if you're going by an alias, which I do from time to time. Right? If you head on over and you take in our show, whether you're listening to the audio, the video, you're taking it all in. Thank you so very much for helping us grow the numbers the way they are. We truly appreciative of all your help. You know who you are. Thank you so very much for joining us over there. If you're catching the taped version of the show as well on, what is it, like iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, we're very happy to be here. And let me just say to the good people at Spotify, if you don't like the fact that Joe Rogan's playlist is what it is, tough luck. Needle knits. All right, so great. So now we're back. Oh, Wayne, I wanted to mention the fact that someone had suggested, someone had talked this morning in terms of truth in advertising. Someone had talked about, look, in terms of what it means to defund the police. So I thought we would do this very quickly. We'll talk about it for a second, then we'll get to the next segment. Dear caller, you've reached 911. Unfortunately, the number you are dialing from is on our Defund the Police supporters list. So let us be the first to wish you good luck in defending yourself, your family members, and your property. Please press 2 if you would like to be placed on the medical examiner's postmortem list, and a social worker will reach out to any surviving family members after your passing. Goodbye. Right, and then all I'm saying is the 911 call should hang up on you, right? So thank you very much for reminding me of that. I certainly appreciate it. Yeah, here's the thing. You want to defund the police, but you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it when you're the one that needs help. Are you kidding me? Really? So I want to defund the police because I'm just, right? I'm a tookus head. I think is how I'm told now to say it, not say asshat. I'm a tookus head. I want to defund the police. Great. Then you don't get to call. Or when you call, that's the message you get. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's that tough, right? Little truth in advertising. All right, Wayne. Oh, don't forget the phone lines are open and it's toll free, 833-MORTAL-1. Or you can type it out, 833-667-8251. You can also send me an email right in the studio, brian@radiobri.com. And of course, you can also text us, the same number, 833-667-8251. Wayne and I and the crack staff at Counterpunch Media would test this stuff. Well, we have been testing it lately, right before the show, so we know it's up and working. So if you want to reach out, give us an idea of what you're thinking, we would. Excuse me. It's this Diet Coke from Meyer. Yeah, sometimes I get a little gassy. All right, Wayne, let's move to our next segment, please. I'm very excited about this one. Oh, please. Enough. Why not give it a rest already? No one around here is drinking your Kool-Aid. All right. Oh, please. This is only going to get me in trouble. All right. Oh, please. Right? Okay. Let me get to it first. Why they're our Oh, please winner over at the Washington Compost. The punctuation prosecutors. Oh, yes. Right? These are the triggered. These are the fragile. These are the timid. Stop using periods, period. Full stop. Drop the mic, I guess, is another popular term. Have you ever watched parents try to text with their children? One hilarious type of misunderstanding goes like this. Right? Forget it. Here's what I want to talk about. I couldn't care less. Parent, I am waiting for you in the car. Child, are you mad? Parent, I am not mad. I'm telling you I'm waiting. Child, what? The poor mom or dad doesn't understand one of the cardinal rules. What? Because the Washington Compost makes it a cardinal rule, which is that you don't use periods. Period. You don't use punctuation. Not unless you want to come off as cold, angry, and passive-aggressive. Oh, hell no. Oh, man, I did it again. That's not bad, Wayne. I had made it 35 minutes without saying hell, right? Oh, hell no. So here's the reason why. I don't care what you do in your text. Who am I? MailChimp? Right, Wayne? Who am I now? MailChimp? I'm going to go in. Is that the name of the company, Wayne, that I was all worked up about this morning? What was the name of that company?
MailChimp.
Well, let's just give me the opportunity to throw MailChimp under the bus. So MailChimp, and Wayne, please correct me, as you always do when I'm wrong. Oh, and let me just say I'm always excited about it when you do, because I learn, right? Listen, I don't need to weigh out my thoughts. I just need to call Wayne. People go, oh, well, how did you come to that? Well, I'm me, right? I'm Brian. I'm me. And then I call Wayne, and Wayne goes, I don't know, right? Maybe you ought to look at it this way. And I go, oh, you know what, Wayne? That was a great point. Shane says, great. Another point that is de-educating our children. Really, when you think about it, Shane, Yoda, you must unlearn that which you have learned. So apparently, it breaks my heart to say this, but was Yoda going to be a big fan of the punctuation police, the punctuation prosecutors? But here's the thing. Who am I? MailChimp? We don't care. Wayne, what's going on? Because clearly I can't exercise it from my own mind. What was going on with MailChimp? Can you catch me back up quickly, please?
Well, MailChimp is a business email service for mass email.
All right.
They decided to block or stop sending emails for some conservative companies or businesses.
Okay.
So they're starting to censor the emails, which means they're actually reading the emails.
Well, wait a minute. So it's not, well, neither is Facebook a mug pamphlet or spitter, right? It's not like they're a media outlet. They're just a platform that allows us to post whatever we think. So let me get this straight. MailChimp now, they're not even a platform. MailChimp is able to go in to emails between the person sending it and the person reading it. Who are they, right? Do they have a FISA court warrant? I'm curious, Wayne. They're able to go. MailChimp, you know what? The hell with you, MailChimp. I hope your stock craters. I hope everybody leaves you. We don't use MailChimp, right, Wayne? I just going to make sure before. Okay, we don't use MailChimp. You're damn right we don't. And if we did, we wouldn't be using it as of this moment moving forward. Because MailChimp now apparently says, oh, no, we have the right. Right? Yeah. Yes. Other than that, they say, oh, we have the right. Oh, okay. Yeah, we have the right. So it's not. So their new name, this just in, some breaking news, Wayne, a lot of people might know. It's called Mail Turkey. It's no longer MailChimp. It's called Mail Turkey. And they're able to go in, read your emails, and decide whether they're going to let the... So are they banning companies who pay them, right? Is MailChimp a free service? I'll bet you it isn't.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not. It's a service that the businesses pay for. The emails that they send, the businesses send, are emails that people have subscribed to receive.
They've requested the emails. Kind of,
Yes.
But in fairness, it's us like going to news outlets going, we request the news. But, right, they modify everything for our delicate little doily ears. Right, Wayne? So, but let me just get it straight. You got to pay to be a business on the Mail Turkey platform, the MailChimp platform. You got to pay. So now you're paying for the right for them to exercise control over your free speech. Am I getting it right?
Well, basically what it's boiled down to.
Great. Fantastic. MailChimp, the hell with you. I hope your stock craters.
And the reason for it is these businesses are sending misinformation.
Oh, misinformation. As determined by who? The 12-year-olds over at MailChimp? Oh, great.
There's a reason why scientists... Facebook and Twitter and...
Oh, Twitter, yeah. All the burning book types. Look, I got to tell you, if we do ads anymore, Wayne, it's because I love the continual rejection letters. But if you've noticed, if we do ads, we don't even include people under the age of 25 because while everyone is busy screaming, science, 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 everyone's busy screaming science. Leading scientists tell us that your brain isn't even formed till you're 25. You're 21 years old. Why does your opinion even matter, right? Your brain isn't even fully formed. So they get these sub-25 types to sit over at MailChimp, the book burners at Spitter and Mug Pamphlet, right? They pay them whatever. And according to Shane, that's a great point, Shane. This is why the latest generation can't get a job because they don't know punctuation. Boy, let me ask you this, Shane. If a period drives these people crazy, can you imagine what or a semicolon, because it looks they're sexually harassed when you use a semicolon, right, Wayne? Because they think you're winking at them. Or an exclamation point / semicolon X for times a million must send them into the streets screaming. We can only hope that they run. Oh, 1 minute. Thank you, Wayne. We can only hope that they run into the streets with scissors and not check both ways before they cross. That's all I'm saying, right? That's all I'm saying. All right, so we have 1 minute, and then, we're going to be right back. Is that it, Wayne? So we're done throwing the punctuation police under the boat. We will be, look at the time. We will be right back. So the phone lines are tied up, are they? Well, you're welcome to leave us a message. And because your voice deserves to be heard, we just might play the recording on air. So sit up straight, take a deep breath, belt it out, and let us know what you're thinking. All right, and let's just do that. We might use your voice. You might hear it on air. By all means, leave us a message. We're very excited to hear from you. And don't forget, the phone lines are still open, 833-MORTAL-1. That's MORTAL and the numeral 1. You can scratch it out, 833-667-8255. I say you just put us on speed dial. Everyone and their brother's got a smartphone now. Put us on speed dial. Now, in fairness, you don't have to make us in the priority list of family and friends. That is, if you have a list anymore of people that disagree with you politically, religiously, philosophically, right? Or if you haven't burned that bridge, put us right on your speed dial, Wayne. How difficult can that be? Put 833-MORTAL-1 right on your speed dial. It's toll free. And then you can even text us at that number. right? All you got to do is look down your phone, hit the button, and you're in. You can text us. You can call us, of course. You can send us an email, brian@radiobride.com. All right, Wayne, we are back. What are we working on next? Return to vendor, because some DNA just needs to go back. All right. It's thank you very much. Right. Should I offer the disclaimer now, Wayne?
Go for it.
Because a lot of people go, oh, Bri, we didn't know that means you're a fan of the death penalty. A fan of the death penalty? Put me down for 2 scoops. Put me down for 2 scoops. Now, return to vendor for today. Orlando Hall is the winner. Why? And you might say, why would you pick this person? And if you go over to the Marshmallow Project, which I'm a member over there, and they give you all the different things that are going on in the criminal justice system, right? Where everyone wants to obfuscate. Everyone wants to, murky the waters. Here's the bottom line. Orlando Hall and a group of accomplices, and you could say alleged, because who knows, maybe he was wrongfully, right? You could say, oh, well, he was convicted. Okay, so if that's what you believe, but right, he was convicted, Wayne, because he was going after, if I remember this correctly, a rival drug dealer. He was going after a couple brothers that were rival drug dealers, right? So all these tough guys pile into a car. They drive to find these brothers, can't find them, right? But they find a teenage girl, apparently the sister of these brothers. They find the teenage girl. They take her to the hotel room. She's repeatedly raped and tortured after the kidnapping, right? It's not like they said, oh, hey, how are you? She goes, great. Oh, would you like to join us? No, they kidnapped her, raped her, tortured her. And then if I remember correctly, Wayne, and I'll have you throw the link up in the feed over on Facebook, if you will. If I remember correctly, did they bury her alive?
I'm not too sure.
All right, so let me pull up the link myself. I thought I thought it was on here, but let me make certain of this, because I think what happened was they buried her alive. So everyone can scream and holler and go, okay, I'm going to pull it up, Wayne. Hold on. Everyone can scream and holler, well, the criminal justice system is this, it's that, it's all these other things, all right? So let me just go right here. As the 8th federal inmate schedule, blah, 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 since the 49 received the death penalty. He's 49 years old, received the death penalty for his role in kidnapping, rape, and the live burial of a 16-year-old in 1994. He was 23 at the time of the crime. So we've kept this guy alive all this time. Difference between 49 and 20
years.
I'm sorry?
They've kept him alive for 26 years.
26 years. He shouldn't have been alive for 26 minutes once he was convicted. And if I believe he's even said, oh, I feel horrible about what I did. So there's no, oh, you sure we got the right guy? After kidnapping, raping, repeatedly raping and torturing, they bury a 16-year-old girl, bury her in the ground, kills her. And you expect me to shed a tear? Return to vendor, because some DNA just needs to go back. This is what the death penalty is all about. So save your crying towel. Save all the reasons why. Oh, no, it's just not right. It's just not right. Baloney. Baloney. Your depraved indifference to human life is such that you and a group of accomplices kidnap, rape, torture, and then bury alive a 16-year-old girl. You deserve to go back. They should have juiced you 26 minutes after the guilty conviction. Maybe give you 26 days for appeal, right? But if now, and let me just check. I want to make sure I'm right, Wayne. Sentenced to death along with another man. There were 3 other men involved in the crime. All pled guilty to kidnapping this young woman, raping her, repeatedly raping her, torturing her, then burying her alive. Yeah. Look, not only do I say return to vendor, not only am I a fan of the death penalty in this instance, I pretty much say, great, let's do it, and then have dinner right afterwards. All right, Wayne, so there we are. That's our return to vendor for today. So cry me a river, all these people saying, oh, that just, we can't have the death penalty in this country. You kidnap, rape, torture. And it was over an extended period of time. She was held against her will and raped at that hotel. You do that, your DNA needs to go back. The hell with anyone that thinks otherwise. All right, Wayne, so let's move. I don't want to fall too far behind. Let's move right along to our next segment. How about a little truth in advertising? You aren't here to be bullied, browbeaten, bulldozed by anyone. If your spirit is broken, it's on you. A hollowed spine, perforated skin, a brain beaten into submission, it's on you. Because ultimately, it's an inside job. They can't control you, so they move to control your thoughts, to manipulate your mind until they induce your surrender, convincing you of your alleged fragility, timidness, susceptibility to any offense. Makes your capitulation in a cognitive co-conspiracy all but certain. They can't beat you straight up, and they know it. So their Trojan horse, their sick plan to dilute and diminish you, scheming against your ultimate ascent to power, calculating that you will default on your run at life itself. Never surrender. Never let them whittle you down. Take the white flag and wipe the smug, conniving grins right off their faces. It's time to mortal up, to rally your memory once and for all, because you are the backlash. You are the counterpunch. You are the reckoning they fear the most. You are the reckoning they fear the most. And it's outside of that amnesia. It's outside of you forgetting, of us forgetting who we ultimately are. And we grow to a point where we go, we're not going to take any of this BS anymore. We're not going to be belittled. We're not going to be whittled away. We're not going to be watered down. And that's what happens. And I think a part of it, Wayne, that's getting me of late is that all the energy, I read something the other day, oh, will the presidency go back to being normal or this or that? Should Joe Biden win? Will it go back to being normal? Look, here's the thing. They'll never let it go back to being normal because they want you to believe that the whittled down version, the watered down version, the timid, the fragile version of you, the perforated version of you, they want you to believe that the vampire class is the ultimate safety net. And all I'm simply suggesting is that it isn't. It's on you to square your shoulders with fate. It's on you to dictate just how your destiny is going to play out. Because our final day is watching what it is that we've decided to do to burn the life that we have, good or bad. It's up to us to decide right now, how am I going to confront that final day? Am I going to look and go, I have lived life by the drop. I have squeezed absolutely like a lime if you're drinking a vodka gimlet. I'm just going to squeeze every bit out of that lime to get every bit of its flavor. Well, that's how you and I can that's how we can choose to live life when we choose to mortal up. Because your last day is watching. And it's on you to make sure that that last day is one where you get to exhale finally and go, man, I did it. Whatever happens, whatever the belief, however the afterlife turns out, I know that in this run in life, I did it full throttle. There was nothing timid, nothing fragile, nothing offendable about me. I was able to go full on. And it begins with full contact freedom, because full contact freedom ultimately means that you have compassion for another person's ability. Here's one of the things that infuriates me, Wayne, the video that you showed yesterday, kicking people while they're down, punching them in the back of the head. Now, I get an email after the show yesterday. Thank you very much, by the way. And I'll just address it very quickly. I get an email that says, oh, well, you're a little sensitive to being punched in the head. Well, yes, maybe after 5 brain surgeries, I am a little sensitive. I am a little protective of the scar, right? Of the soft spot. Everyone says, oh, Brian, now we know you have a soft spot in your head. Yeah, I actually do. I mean, it's packed with titanium, mesh and a plate and all kinds of body fat, right? But yeah, I've got a soft spot in my head. So I have a soft spot for someone coming up behind and sucker punching you. I have a soft spot for people that think their sense of self. Now, here's the thing, Wayne. Here's what a lot of people miss, right? All these people standing up. Oh, we're going to stand up against fascists. No, you demented little drool bag. You're not standing up against fascists. What you're doing by punching someone from behind is admitting your life isn't worth crap. And because you think your life is just an absolute crap storm, that it gives you the right, other people's lives must be an absolute crap storm, right? So you get to treat them. You get to kick them while they're down. You get to throw firecrackers at them while they're eating dinner. Can you imagine, Wayne? You're sitting there having dinner. Oh, hey, and by the way, please wish Derek happy birthday. But you're out celebrating, and you're having a birthday dinner, and everyone's, oh, you got to unwrap this first. What did you get? Oh, when does the birthday cake get here? Oh, I'm sorry. I ordered a pistachio ice cream. So while the waitress is busy going, oh, man, it's my bad. Sorry, it's your birthday. It was pistachio. Yes, it was pistachio ice cream. You're busy. You're focused on all of that. All of a sudden, some asshat drops in live fireworks, and they start ricocheting all over your double burger with pepper cheese and your large French fries soaked in ketchup, right? So now firecrackers go in, and these people, right? Oh, we're standing up to fascism. No, you're a little drool bag. And I'm not going to go off again today, Wayne, like I did yesterday, so you have to go in and edit out the F-bombs. But these little drool bags are such that because they never mortaled up, they have no compassion in the mirror. They have no empathy in the mirror. So because misery loves company, they want to go ahead because they're terrorized by their own lack of any kind of honor. They're terrorized. But why? But by their last day, what their last day is going to look like, right? They're terrorized by that. So now they're going to terrorize another human being? Not on our watch. And that's why we defend human potency here at the Brian Brawdy Show. We stand against anyone that stands against you. If their goal is to water down your human wherewithal, we're going to have an issue with that. We're going to accept the challenge. And I forgot my bullhorn. I don't want to get up and walk away, but here's the thing. You need a bullhorn to harass someone. I got a bullhorn right outside the studio. I'll bring it with me. Why don't you bring your bullhorn, come find me and my bullhorn, and we'll work this whole thing out, you little coward. Ay. All right, so getting back to Mortal Up, don't let anyone treat you that way, right? Even though their sense of amnesia, their life is just a train wreck and they know it, they're going to treat you like your life is a train wreck. Well, it isn't. Technically, no human life is a train wreck, but if that's how you want to squander it, oh, I'm an anti-fascist, I'm a this, I'm a that, I have no compassion, I have no empathy. I can walk up and kick an elderly man while he's down on the ground. I can steal a flag from an elderly woman when I've got 8 guys around me and I've got a bullhorn. I'll just lead the gang in to go in and injure these people. Or you can walk up and stab somebody repeatedly in the face with a knife. You're a bully. And for those of us that decide to mortal up, we have a thing for bullies. We don't particularly care for them. And that's what we're saying. That yes, you've had a horrible life. We all get that. But go sit in the corner, suck your thumb, wallow in your own sense of self-pity, leave other people out of it. And that's ultimately the message of all the people that decide not to mortal up. Look, I think my life sucks. Well, it does suck. But don't drag the rest of us into your suck because we're not interested. We're going to give our run at life a full-on shot. We're thrilled to be here. Yeah, look, it breaks our heart that you're not thrilled to be here. Not our karma. As a dear friend of mine says, not my monkeys, not my circus. Right? I don't have skin in your game, in your perforated sense of self. But when it comes time to mortal up, you decide, no, I've only got one shot at this life, and I'm going to run the table. That's your mortal up for today. All right, Wayne, did I forget anything? What else are we working on? What's new and exciting? Anything I've forgotten?
I don't think so. I think we got everything we planned on today.
We got everything in. All right, what's going on in Michigan? Anything new and exciting? Let me check the wire here quickly to see if there's anything I'm missing. What's going on in the world today? Anything?
No, I believe that the legislature is going to try to impeach Whitmer.
Oh, wow, that's great news. Yeah,
we'll see how that goes, but it looks like that's their plan right now.
Oh, all right. So wait, can I steal the mic back for 1 second?
Sure.
Hold on 1 second, right? Because it's my fault for checking the wire.
Check this out.
My fault. Totally my bad. I apologize. Oh, now you're going to say, Bri, don't pile on little Jackie over at Spitter. Don't pile on, little Jackie Dorsey. Apparently, Wayne, I'm just getting this in a text. Twitter CEO admits censoring Hunter Biden report was wrong. Oh, well. So let me get this straight. Post-election, he now says censoring the Hunter Biden story was wrong. This guy is a career criminal. But forget that. And I think he's been our lowlife making headline. He might be in the Hall of Fame, Wayne, is he?
Yes, he is.
Bunter Hyden in a basement even lower than his dad's basement, in a basement even lower. But that's not why we picked on Jack before. This breaking news right now as we get ready to lead the show is that they blocked, the New York Post. They blocked anyone that wanted to reshare it. And I'll get to this real quick, Wayne, before we go. I couldn't care less what Jack does. It's his platform. You want to do it. Great, Jack. You go. Everyone else leave to go to Parler. Little Marky Mark over at Mug Pamphlet. Who gives a crap what you want to do, you little Lex Luthor, right? Who cares? Everyone jump over to Parler, I guess. I don't know. Wayne is a fan of Parler. The jury's still out with me, but whatever, right? So now what they're saying is it was wrong to censor the report. Here's what gripes me, Wayne, if I can get it in. What gripes me is that who the hell are these guys to decide your ears are too sensitive to hear a news story? That's what goads me about this, Wayne, right? These are, I have to protect the delicate doily ears of the people. No, you don't have to protect my ears. I didn't deputize you to censor whatever copy. I don't want to be triggered. I don't want to be triggered, Wayne. Please have someone censor. I need some help. Please drop it. That's what I'm saying. It's news outlets everywhere. And these people, I was wrong to censor the Bunter Hyden report. Yeah, you damn well were wrong. So that's our breaking news, Wayne. Sorry about that. Didn't mean not want to hijack the very last part. But here's the thing. We got to stand up these people. Mortal up. Let them know you didn't deputize them. You didn't make it so that they could censor everything so that, you only hear about doilies and daisies and fuzzy little rabbits, Wayne, and peaceful summer mornings where you can just hear a crackling of the sun rising, right? I'm sorry, Wayne, did you sign up for that service? I sure as hell didn't.
Nope,
you didn't either. All right, so before we get ready to get out of here, let me thank everyone at YouTube and at Mug Pamphlet. Thank you so very much. All the people want to pick a fight over on Spitter. I absolutely love it. Keep it coming. Thank you to everyone who listens to the rebroadcast of the show on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, on SoundCloud. Everyone that's signing up for the Mortal Up Minute, thank you so very much for that. And as always, thank you to our sponsors, Counterpunch Media and Certifiable Brilliance. Wayne, I've talked all the way through today, so let's just go ahead. We'll announce the Mortal Up Alliance. Very, very excited about that. Over the moon about it, actually. We'll announce that during tomorrow's show. So let me end by thanking you, Wayne, as always, and the good folks over at Counterpunch Media. Everything you do to put lipstick, right, on this whole thing, right? With everything you do to cover the fact that I have more head scars than most Vikings. Thank you very much for that. And we will look forward to seeing everyone back here tomorrow. Wayne, it is yours.
Thanks for listening to the Brian Brawdy Show. Until next time, get out there and mortal up.